Good evening, and welcome to AMwand's training webinar for the month of July 2017. My name is Arun Kema. It's my pleasure to connect with you in this webinar series. Today's webinar is going to be a very exciting one for me, especially. I've been looking forward to do this detailed webinar. Sometimes it's difficult to leverage on technology and do some of these programs, especially today's subject is how to use the M1. So I've done some extensive work to show you a lot of visuals on how to use the wand and how to maximize the wand. How can you use the wand for maximum results? Please excuse me if it's not fully engaging. That's the best we can do using webinars, but of course it's miles apart. It's 10 times or 100 folds different when we meet in person and do it in a workshop, which we're going to roll out very soon, called the AFT Quantum Healing Workshops. So that's another level. So this is basically a teaser, good information, an online learning information on how to use the M1. Maybe it's the topic, maybe it's the subject that actually attracts a lot of people here. So thank you again for joining, and I'm going to jump straight into the webinar. Today's topic is how to use the M1 for maximum results. How to use the M1 for maximum results. Now, the reason I picked this topic, how to use the M1, is that I see two sets of people wherever I travel and meet the Amagians or the ML people promoting the self-care evolution. In all these places, when I meet, I see two sets of people. One are the users. They love the AFT products and they use the AFT products onto themselves. And another group is, I would say, slightly more professional, where they are actually using the AFT products onto others, in helping others, in healing others, and so on, in professional healing work. All right. So I hear a lot of testimonials. I hear a lot of amazing results out of using the wand and so on. But when I look at them, I feel that they are not maximizing the wand. They are not using the wand to the maximum. And perhaps that because there's very little literature or trainings there for them to maximize. Imagine you have a tool that you can do 1,000 things and you're just using it for one single thing. It's like that. You're not maximizing the benefits completely. So that's the reason I came out with this, and eventually we will roll out more onto the workshops, on practical workshops. So the subject today is how to use the M1 for maximum results. Now, when you use your M1, I want to make sure that we are clear in this topic. When we're using the M1, we're basically into what we call an AFT quantum healing therapy. AFT quantum healing therapy is leveraging on energized products to accommodate or to facilitate the healing within, meaning to say that it's not us, it's not the person who's doing it is the one healing or whatever it is. Basically, when you use the M1 onto yourself or onto other people, you are basically facilitating the healing to happen within from that individual itself. Now, if you were to look at this illustration, a simple illustration showing a biofield, which basically contains the source code of your energetic quantum, your complete energetic quantum, and that field, all right, that field need to be strong enough to bring in the right information, the right energy into the system, and to release out the negative energies and so on. So when you use the AFT tools, whether it's a wand or the pendant and so on, it helps to facilitate the sourcing of the life force energy from the environment, which is already in abundance. All right, so it's able to source the energy. So when it's able to source the energy, it's also able to cleanse, charge, and rejuvenate the whole entire energetic system within us, bringing to a state of balance. When that happens, automatically the healing happens at a phenomenal level. So that's exactly what we're doing. And when you use the M1, that's exactly what's happening. Now, the M1 can be used in three separate modalities. The M1 can be used in three separate modalities. One is what we call the wanding, the circular clockwise motion. One is just the wanding. The second one is called the acupressure with AMwand, and the third one is actually EFT tapping with AMwand. Of course, I've seen some people using all three together, combining all that three together, yes, but the right way is it's actually three separate modalities. You can use either one or you can use all three, it doesn't matter as far as you're just facilitating for maximum results to happen. Now, why is M1 very important, especially in energetic healing? To a certain extent, science has proven that the moment you set an intention, all right, the moment you set an intention, the results is already creating within, meaning to say that if you want to heal or if you want to balance or if your focus is to change something that is bothering you, that's disengaging you or something like that, the moment you set your intention itself, your whole energetic system is already accommodating to that change, to the what we call the master mindset. All right. So M1, using the M1 is what we call an active process in engaging for the change to happen. Most of the time we are so much in our head, we're thinking a lot, we're talking to ourselves, and we're physically involved, or sometimes our thoughts affect our emotions, and our emotions are automatically engaged to the thoughts, and most of the time we are in that state of that what we call yabut, completely talking in our own world and so on. But the key to energetic wellness is to live in a very, very highly conscious state. And in order to be in conscious state, your mind, body, and soul need to be in sync at one motion. Love what you're doing, every single moment of it, and that's where your consciousness goes at a higher level, and you're able to live at a higher energetic wellness state. So the M1 can be used in three different modalities: the wanding, the acupressure, EFT tapping. All right. And today's topic, since it's going to be a large, long series, today's is only on self-care in self-wanding, meaning to say how you can actually use this to your own benefit, helping and healing and changing and improving yourself. So today's topic is only going to be on self-wanding. All right. It's going to be on self-wanding because of the time permits. So some of the points to note when you're doing self-warning is keep your eyes closed all the time during the session, and keep on repeating that again and again, because eyes, it sees a million things and process a million things when your eyes are open, and you exert a lot of energy when your eyes are open, and when your eyes are closed, you're basically focusing your or internalizing your focus, and thereby also you save a lot of energy when you close your eyes, zeroing on your intentions. Avoid any conversation during that session. So it's a very simple thing. So you can easily avoid any conversation so that you can keep your focus. Keep the attention to your breathing. That's when you're doing self-warning. Keep your attention to your breathing. At the end of the session, open eyes and move slowly. Try to avoid any sudden moves and so on. Do not cross your legs or your hands. Do not cross it. Always put it onto your lap and have your feet flat on the ground. So if possible, remove the footwears and keep your feet flat on the ground. Keep your mobile phones, laptops, or any other electrical equipment away, or if possible, switch it off, because you don't want the EMF frequencies and your receptions affecting your energetic system or energetic wavelengths. So keep it, preferably keep it off. Drink a glass of water, preferably energized water, before wanding, and if possible, add a couple of drops of Amgenix and Soleil, the Himalayan pink crystal salt solution. Obviously, during that topic, you'll understand the importance of having a glass of water with the M Soleil, because it really charges up your cells. It activates every single electrode in your cells. Once you're finished wanding, drink again lots of water, preferably energized water, to dehydrate the body. If you've been wanding regularly, if you know how to use the wand and you're using regularly, you can actually feel that the metabolism has increased. You can feel the heatiness sometimes exerting out of your body, and that's very, very normal for that. In fact, that's the reason of the dehydration, and drink a lot of water after the wanding. Apply the Ega therapeutic oil at the T1, that's back of the neck, the top portion of your neck bone, or at any also at any concern area before wanding. And for most chronic discomforts, some of the chronic discomforts are created over years and may require multiple wanding. So the self wanding here is something that you should be doing regularly, just like your daily routine of taking a bath and cleaning yourself. This whole self wanding thing actually basically helps you to cleanse yourself energetically. Right. So let's talk about the first part, the wanding, and let's share about the 9 steps of the wanding and what happens during the 9 steps of the wanding. So the self-wanding is actually a way of relaxation. Self-wanding is self-healing and even considered to be an active meditation. So you can understand we encourage self-wanding every day for you. Self-wanding can be done at any time and recommended in the morning and before bedtime. It only takes about 5 to 10 minutes, that depending on your level, depending on your need. For myself, when I do self-wanding every morning, it takes me at least 20 to 30 minutes for me to be in that zone. And I love that zone, love that feeling altogether. Preparation, I already covered some of the points in preparation. So remember to remove footwear, sit comfortably. It's okay to lie down also, but sit comfortably. Hold the wand in one hand with the tip pointing towards you, and then close your eyes. Count down from 6 to 1 or even 10 to 1. Count down, that is 10, breathe down, 9, breathe down, 8, breathe down, 7, breathe down. So you count down all the way to 1. So as you count down, don't rush it, go slow so that you really start focusing your attention onto your breathing. All right. Of course, we have a video, a simple video that explains this. It's there in our Vimeo channel, YouTube channel, and also in the website. So you can look up for the 9-point self-wanding. There's 2 videos. One is on self-wanding and the other one is how to wand others. So watch the self-wanding, and this is all about that. Okay, the first point is called the provocation. So you take the wand, touch the top of your head, which is the crown area. We call it the crown area. Touch with your tip on the top of the head and slightly tap. Okay, slightly tap. You should feel that little bit of feeling when the tap happens. The reason this is called provocation. This is called provocation, which means activation of your energetic system. So when you tap slightly, for a couple of times, when you tap, basically you're activating every single energy centers, every single the chakras and so on, so that basically it's like a wake up call. So once that is done, then you start wanding on a circular motion. The reason you do a circular motion is called a clockwise motion. It's called an implosion of energy. So basically you're creating a vortex of energy, and that energy starts to flow from the environment into you and flow out. So that's how the whole system works. So you start wanding on your head clockwise, still pointing to your head onto the top, and that top area, the crown area, there's a gland called the pineal gland, which is located within the brain, within the left and the right hemispheres is positioned at that there. And when you close your eyes and you wand, it actually releases a lot of melatonin, all right, which supervises the biological clock of our body. Sometimes, it's sleep time, but we can't sleep. Sometimes our digestion system is upset. Sometimes our whole we feel awkward, we feel differently, we feel it's right in the afternoon and we are feeling tired and sleepy, and in the night we are not sleepy, we're highly active because your biological clock has gone haywire. And so when you wand the pineal gland on a regular basis, it resets your biological clock to the correct conditions. It controls your walking, your sleep patterns, your sexual developments, and it's all controlled. Right. The third step is the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is it's between the 2 eyebrows, right at the front of your face, at the forehead, between the eyebrows. Pituitary gland is also known as a master gland. It controls the function of other ductless glands. It's divided into anterior and posterior pituitaries. It influences metabolism, reproduction, and growth by releasing hormones like prolastin, thyroid stimulating hormones, growth hormones, and all other type of hormones. So it's a very, very important gland in your body. And so by pointing the wand, as the picture shows, by pointing the wand in between your eyebrows and wanding it clockwise. When I say clockwise, imagine your face as a clock and position the clock on your face, and then you can realize on a clockwise motion. So turn it clockwise. There's no formula for the number of turns. So it could be 9 rounds, it could be 18 rounds, 27 rounds. The reason why we set a count of 9, 18, 27 is that when you do a clockwise and you start counting, what happens is your focus and attention is in the activity, and that's what we want. Suppose if you're not counting and you're just turning, the tendency of your thought trailing out somewhere else is there, and then you are not fully engaged into the healing. So that's the whole idea of wanding and counting. So when you'll be consciously aware of the number of wands, clockwise motions you are doing, and you start counting, and that is what we call an active process. Third one is actually the pituitary gland, the third step. Okay, let's move to the fourth one. The fourth one is thyroid gland, all right, such at the center of your throat. So the thyroid's main function is to regulate body metabolism. Functions of the body are severely affected when the thyroid does not work well, and we all have come across that many times. Hormones secreted by the thyroid play an important role in the generation of heat and energy, protein synthesis, vitamins, fats, and carbohydrate metabolism, and so many other important functions. Okay, the increase in the sensitivity of the body to other hormones like adrenaline and so on. So thyroid, this is a very, very important gland, and of course activating the glands are actually connected to what we call the chakras. So by wanding there, you're actually activating the chakras, and thereby you're able to help or rejuvenate the senses, the energy centers of the particular gland. And that's how it works. Step 5 is the thymus gland. It builds resistance for combating diseases and helps in one's physical development. It is the most active in the early years of, so normally when you're a child, it's small and it grows as you grow to adulthood and so on. It builds an important role in the functioning of your immune system. So point it at between your chest, right in the center between your chest. If you're wearing a pendant, normally the pendant sits right at the thymus gland. So that's the area you need to be wanding it. So point it, wand it clockwise. Again, 9, 18, 27, 36, depend on your comfort level and the time you have. Do not rush. Do not rush. Engage yourself in this activity and feel for yourself. Eventually, when you keep on doing this on a regular basis, you will start to feel yourself more energetically. You'll start to feel where is your thoughts, where is your emotions, where is your physical, and where is the balance. You can sense a lot of this information, whatever that's happening at the subconscious level. You can consciously start feeling it and be aware of that, and it's a very great feeling, highly conscious about yourself. All right, the sixth is called the pancreas or the solar plexus energy center, the pancreas area. So certain cells in the pancreas secrete digestive enzymes, which plays an important role in the digestion of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And we all know that we need different types of digestive enzymes to break down different types of food. So when you wand at the solar plexus area, the pancreas area, helps the secretion of different type of digestive enzymes from your body itself. All right, and the important hormone insulin and glucagon are secreted into the bloodstreams by the pancreas itself. So thus pancreas works as an endocrine as well as an exocrine gland. So malfunction of the insulin generating cells results in diabetics, and pancreas helps to neutralize the charge. So that's a very, very important point 6 or step 6. That's the pancreas gland. So let's go to step 7. Step 7 is a sacral energy center. It's actually 1 inch above your navel. This gland secretes almost 3 dozen types of hormones. The main functions of adrenal gland includes carrying out metabolic processes and helping the body deal with stress. These glands regulate the fight and flight mechanism of the body. Medulla releases adrenaline and noradrenaline, while the adrenaline cortex releases cortisol. So this is the sacral energy center, the step 7, a very important point. Again, to note that particular area and start wanding that areas. So that's step 7. Let's go to step 8 is the sexual gland. Sexual gland is actually at the root of your vertebra, at the bottom of your vertebra, the last bone connection. And it's the root of your being and establishes the deepest connection with your physical body. So it's also called the root energy center. It's also called the root energy center. So the root chakra is responsible for your sense of safety, security, self-esteem, your earthly journey, your destiny. The root chakra is also compromised over whatever grounds you need to stabilize your life, to balance your life. This includes your basic needs like food, water, shelter, safety, as well as your emotional needs such as letting go of fear. It plays an important role in your sexual life too. So this is the step 8 or the point 8, the sexual gland, the root energy centers. Wand this area again on a clockwise motion, on a regular motion, with your tip pointing towards you. Right, that's step 8. Step 9 is the back of your neck, the top back of your neck. It's called the T1. So you just bend down your neck and point the wand right on to your back of your neck, the bottom of your neck, top of your vertebra bone. T1, that's the location, and it's an important connection point between your head and heart connection. We call it physically active, engaging individuals. You know, sometimes you are thinking something and you're feeling something else. That's where the disconnect happens. This is the area that actually builds up a lot of stress. Normally, when you're working too much or having a lot of stress, you will find your shoulders getting stiff. This is where stress actually builds up. So point the wand at the back of your neck at the T wand, and of course keep your eyes closed and wand again on a clockwise motion, clockwise to that point. And you can actually release a lot of stress. You can also improve the head and the heart communication very much better through that. So this is the 9 points in the self-wanding process, the first part of the wanding modality. My advice to you is if you can do it in the morning and if you do it in the night just before you sleep, you will have a very nice sound sleep. You can see a whole lot of improvement over a couple of days. You can see the whole lot of improvement. It takes only about 5 to 10 minutes. And of course, if you love that and if you want to engage yourself in doing more, you can also start wanding the 10 body fields. See, the whole body, our whole human body is encompasses into a field called the bioenergetic field. It is also known as the subtle organizing energy field in quantum physics. So basically, the field is our source code. The field is the one that's interacting between the environment and our internal dimension. Is the one that is actually interpreting every single information that's available to us. At the same time, we know that our body is made up of trillions of cells, and a heart cell is totally different from a liver cell or a head cell or a stomach cell and so on. Every cell is engaged within its own dimension, and it's at its core purpose of serving that particular organ or the organ system. There's also an independent field within our bioenergetic field called the head field, the throat field, the stomach field, the back field, the heart field, the shoulder field, because these fields are made up of that particular cells in that particular region and so on. All right. So you can also wand on your head at that particular point, wand your head on a clockwise motion, your throat on regularly on a clockwise motion, your stomach, your kidney, and the back and so on. So these are some of the general areas you can also wand to improve yourself. The second modality is called the acupressure. A lot of us know what is acupressure. Basically, acupressure is applying pressure on certain meridian points in the meridian channel without the invasiveness of the needle, meaning to say without you know inserting a needle within. That's acupuncture, all right? Without inserting the needle, basically using the AMwand, we are applying pressure onto a certain meridian point. These meridian points lies in the major meridian channels, major meridian channels. So this stage is called acupressure with healing with the AMwand. Point the wand at the meridian point where it requires healing or rejuvenation. Use the tip of the wand and apply slight pressure on the meridian point at an interval of 5 seconds pressure and 5 seconds release. So use the tip point, hold it for a while and then release, hold it for a while, release. So every 5 seconds you apply pressure, 5 seconds release, 5 seconds apply pressure, 5 seconds release for a certain period of time. You have to do it multiples. Again, it would be good if you were able to count 9, 18, 27 or 36 again. The reason for counting is to keep your attention at that process, at that in some of those meridian points, you may not be able to identify just with the wand. So you might need to use your fingers to identify, use your fingers to identify that particular point before applying the acupressure with the AMwand. So this one is basically you're touching your body with your AMwand. Of course, you're going to touch yourself, so it's okay. I've taken out some illustrations, some points of acupressure that you can apply for yourself, especially in self-healing. The first one is to increase energy. This is just 1 inch above your navel, again at the sacral point. Now, if you were to point that wand and start pressure for 5 seconds release, 5 second release, 5 second release, 5 second release, this is one way for you to increase energy. So if you feel that you are not having enough energy, you're feeling lethargic, if you're feeling tired, you don't have enough drive and so on. So start using the wand, start wanding that particular area. You can also point it and start pressuring it. So when you do that, that is one meridian point that will help you to increase energy, increase your metabolism. That meridian line lies in that 12 major meridian channels that's there in our body. All right. That next area, another point where you can help yourself to increase the energy and also to unblock any energetic blockages is on your palm of your hand. So if you were to look at your hand, okay, the palm of your hand, and if you take between the third finger and the fourth finger and go down just 1 inch between your third finger and your fourth finger, that point is where you use the AMwand and start applying little pressure. Increases because this helps to unblock the energy and also increase the energy level. The same thing can also happen 2 point with inner part of your legs is like 3 to 4 inch above your ankle. That's one area. It's also part of the meridian channel for you to press using your AMwand. The next is a lot of people have grain problems. Again, the same point which I mentioned earlier, that instead of tapping, you can actually use that to apply pressure using the wand on the top of your head. That's one area. The other area is right at the back of your head, right on the top of your neck, just below your skull. So it's below your skull, the back there, and that's one point you can also use the AMwand to tap. To press lightly, 5 seconds, let go for 5 seconds, let go 5 seconds. Press again for 5 seconds and let go for 5 seconds. That is one area, and what happens is this is for mental cleansing, for clarity of mind, for improvement of your migraine, sleep, or your mental field. You can actually press this 2 point on the. So press on the front of your hand, and this is between your thumb and your fourth finger. So it's about 1 inch between your thumb and finger, and you keep pressing here. This also will help you to eliminate headaches and also give you the clarity of mind, focus, thoughts, and so on. So if you keep on doing, you will see. And of course, please understand, These are not medicines, so don't expect an immediate result, and eventually you will find a very good improvement happening because you're actually helping the body to heal itself and improve itself. The next area for thyroid, especially if you are someone who's uncertain in your communication, not sure what to say, or you feel that you're very weak, coughing, and prone to sickness and so on, then the thyroid field need to be strengthened and need to be improved. So besides the wanding that happens at the first stage, you can actually point your wand and start applying pressure at the 3 points on the front of your throat, 3 points in the center of the throat. Just look at that image, and I'm sure you can. And of course, be careful. Don't hurt yourself with the wand. Just apply light pressure, so you're able to activate the meridian points, and thereby you're able to activate the thyroid field and improve the thyroid field. Okay, the next point is heart. Okay, for some people, you might have realized that your blood circulation is poor, or your breathing is not so good and so on, or your heart is a little weak and so on. What you can do is you can actually point the wand at the heart field area, which is not at the thymus gland area. Okay, so it's the same point as your thymus gland, but 1 inch to your left, all right, so 1 inch to your left, and you start using the wand and start applying acupressure at that particular point. It will help to improve your heart condition in all levels of your heart condition. So if you are a heart patient, or if you're someone who has weak heart field and so on, 1 inch from your thymus to your left. So start applying pressure there using the wand on a regular. When you're doing your daily things, you can find ways and means to actually start doing that regularly. Okay, so this is one. Another common problem a lot of people have is indigestion, constipation, high bloatedness, gas, uh, you know, too much in the stomach and so on. Again, from our diet, from the food and so on. So you can actually warm your big intestine by pointing the wand on it's right at the bottom of your rib cage, in the center of the bottom of the rib cage, about 2 inch down. That's the large intestine, and you start pointing the M1, apply light pressure, and start applying light pressure on a regular basis. You can keep on doing this on a daily basis. You can keep and do whenever you want. This is not a routine like the first one that you did. The first one, you have to do all the 9 points if you have to go and do a proper regime by itself. But this acupressure, you can select the points that is most needed for you and for the reason, and start applying these points. And of course, we have done numerous amounts of tests, work using the wand, and we have found a lot of results by tapping onto the acupressure points. So these are some of the points, and I have more points for you. If you're looking at the illustration, I have more points for you. There are 36 more points of acupressure that you can apply using the AMwand. All right, so there are 36 different areas. So if you're stressed, if you want to reduce your stress, look at this illustration. The points that you need to apply acupressure is number 8, 10, 11, 20, 23, and 32. All right, so these are the areas you're supposed to apply pressure. For example, number 8, which is about 2 inch from the base of your hand. So it's 2 inch from there, and you apply pressure there on a regular basis. So this is one area. Another area is at the right side of your waist, the inner part of your hand, the right side of your waist. If you look closely at the image, you're able to find that point 10. So this is to reduce stress. So you can always use the wand and lightly tap. Be careful not to hurt yourself, and when you tap, make sure that you're able to feel the pressure. That's important. So you can apply pressure on a regular basis, and that will activate and reduce the stress what you're having. For general headaches, headache at temples, insomnia, nausea or vomiting, fatigue. For fatigue, you apply pressure on 13, 18, 20, and 34. For sexual problems, for weight loss, you can also use the M1 at that particular area. That's 6, 12, 13, and 14. The particular points to activate the weight loss, basically to help your body identify and activate the weight loss, which is in this case, if you look at weight loss, you're looking at the arms. On your arms, you're looking at just near your biceps at that particular area. Okay, that's where you tap number 6, apply pressure, or at your stomach area, number 13 and 14. Common cold, high blood pressure, joint aches, neck pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, knee pain, menstrual problems, and all you can do is just apply the wand and work in all this. There's over 38 points for you to apply that on a regular basis and see a huge improvement that you can help yourself to allow your body or to facilitate your body to heal. So this is the additional illustrations of acupressure of 38 points where you can apply for general discomforts that you have, like fatigue, headache, insomnia, knee pain, and so on. So try that. Very interesting. You will start loving it. Okay, third modality is called the EFT tapping. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about EFT tapping. EFT tapping works by clearing the energy disturbance. EFT works by intentionally activating an energy disturbance by thinking about a painful memory or something like that. While the energy disturbance is activated, you tap with the M1 on a set of 9 easily learned acupuncture points, and this would help you to cleanse or get rid of the disempowering emotions. So EFT tapping is more used for emotional balancing. It is used more for emotional balancing or emotional cleansing. As the disturbance get cleared through the tapping, you will experience your negative emotions actually drains away. EFT with the M1 is an effective way to eliminate or reduce negative emotions, disempowering belief, negative thoughts, and bad habits, fears, and phobias, and so on. So we all have our own vices, we have some of the bad habits or something that we want to get rid of. So we can use EFT tapping, especially to help us engage or improve our emotional IQ. All right. So the 9 point, a simple 9 points. Again, there's a lot of work being done and it's very effective. Of course, EFT tapping is normally you use your fingers and you tap for that particular purpose. Try with the M1, especially with the M1, you'll find that the results is much more amazing, I would say so, and much more better. So there's 9 simple points. One is the KC, the karate chop. That's at the side of your palm. That's one area. Use the wand and tap lightly. Top of the head, again crown, number 2. Same points. Very, very important point. And if you look at it, you'll find the importance of it. EB, the eyebrow. This one is right at the start of your eyebrow on your left side or your right side. Doesn't matter. Especially for trauma, hurt, sadness, restlessness, impatience, frustration, restless, and so on. So, and also for inner peace, so it allows inner peace. So you can use that to tap that particular area. Point 4 is the side of your eye. Side of your eye is to release rage, anger, resentment, fear, changes, and so on, and to allow you to have more clarity, more compassion, and more understanding. Number 5.5 is under your eye, and of course when you're using the M1, please be careful because it's a piece of steel and you don't want to hurt yourself. So tap lightly. The idea of tapping is just to activate that energy centers there, that particular point there to activate so that it releases. It's just the same form of acupuncture, but in this case you are tapping rather than applying pressure for a couple of seconds and releasing it. So you are tapping on a regular basis. So under the eye is for fear, anxiety, worry, emptiness, nervousness, and disappointments, and so on. When you by doing that, you also allows contentment, calmness, safe and secure feeling of all is well. Point 6 is under the nose. Under the nose is again the build-up of subconscious programming that's happened on us, the emotions, the disempowering beliefs, and so on. So under the nose releases embarrassment, shame, guilt, grief, fear, powerlessness, fear of failure, psychological reversals. Allows self-empowerment, self-acceptance, and compassion. So imagine yourself using the wand and tapping onto under your nose. Point seven is the chin. It's is to release confusion, uncertainties, embarrassments, shame, indecisions. It also allows certainty, clarity, self-confidence, and self-acceptance. Point eight is the collarbone, which if you can, this is where you need to feel and make sure that don't use the wand onto the bone, but just at the start of that bone. It releases psychological reversals, worries, indecisions, stuck feelings, and general stress, and allows you to move forward, confidence, and clarity. And step nine, or point nine, is underarm to release guilt, observing worriness, hopelessness, insecurity, and poor self esteem. Allows improvements of confidence, relaxations, compassions for self and also to others. So we have covered how to use the M1 for maximum results in self-healing yourself. The first part we spoke about is the 9-point self-wanding. Wanding is where you make a circular clockwise motion, you create an energy vortex, and you focus that point or the tip at that particular energy center or the major gland, and you activate the energy centers and the gland. The next one is we spoke about the different ways for you to expand your fields, your body fields, the heart field, the head field, the stomach field, and so on. Then we came to the acupressure with the M1, acupressure healing with the M1, identifying some of the major points in our meridian points in our meridian channel and how we can actually activate this meridian points to help improve energy, unblock energy, improve heart, stomach, digestion, or some major discomfort that we have in our daily lives, like stress, headache, fatigue, weight loss, common cold, joints and aches, neck pain. So identifying these points and using the wand and applying pressure or regular pressure on this point, that's the stage or modality number two. The modality number three is EFT tapping. EFT tapping is actually used for emotional cleansing, clearing out fears and negativeness that we tend to call store too much sometimes inside us, and identifying the 9 major points and using the wand and tapping onto these major points to help release some of these negative feelings and negative issues that we may have built up over these years. So these are the 3 stages, the 3 different modalities, and the different ways you can actually use and empower yourself and try it, and you will love it. I remember Doctor Who. If I were to spend 10 hours, Dr. Andrew Hu, you can find him in the videos. He's one of our major endorsers. He's a quantum physicist and also a cancer researcher, and he does a lot of work with the M1. You can see him that I've seen him every time when I see him, even for 10 hours a day, 14 hours a day, he is always using the wand and tapping onto the meridian points or the acupressure points and so on. And he keeps on doing that on a regular basis. So like that, try it. And of course, you can also create a lot of active people who will be interested when you are tapping using the wand. So when you are using it to tap or when you're using to apply pressure on a regular basis, some people is going to come across and ask you what is that and what you're doing for, and that gives you a great opportunity for you to share about the product and also promote the product and thereby get more people to engage in your activity of self-care and promoting self-care, and thereby you can actually increase your income. So this is the topic for today. I'm very glad I have a lot of people who actually stayed back to listen. If you have any questions, kindly key in the questions. I'm willing to answer. We have another 5 more minutes before we end program. Okay, there's one question. Is using 2 wands is better than one? It's not necessary, especially for self-healing. One wand is more than enough. I repeat again, one wand is more than enough for self-healing. But when you're working onto a person, when you're actually facilitating AFT quantum healing onto someone, sometimes, in our body itself, our organ system, we have the left side and the right side, and sometimes certain points require two M1s to be used on the acupressure points to balance the body and to activate the energy centers. For example, if you're working on someone who's highly stressed up, there's two major points that you need to press on the back of your neck, at the bottom of your skull. In that case, you need the two wands to do that. Likewise, your foot, right on the top of your foot, you need again two wands to press that. So if you're working on someone, if you're facilitating a AFT quantum healing process, which is one workshop that we're going to roll out by the third quarter of this year throughout the world, we intend to educate people how one can actually facilitate professional AFT quantum healing therapies onto others and help others by facilitating and using our products and modalities to apply. So that's something that we're going to roll out soon. So I hope I answered your question. Any other questions you have, please post it. Okay, one more question. Is there any part of the body where we need to wand anti-clockwise? We will not encourage you to do anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise is a way of releasing unblocked energy. So it is a technique that you need to learn physically in a workshop. So I would not advise you to do any anti-clockwise movement. But yes, you can do anti-clockwise movement whenever you find certain areas of blockages happening, and that you need to be a highly professional energy healer to sense and feel that particular area before you do an anti-clockwise. So my advice to you is don't do anti-clockwise unless otherwise you identify an area that you require extensive healing. That's where the block is. Then you do anti-clockwise, and after anti-clockwise you have to do double clockwise in order to enforce the energy into that particular system to help that balance itself. All right, so that's all the questions we have for today. I think there's no more questions. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for being part of this self-care. And remember, AMwand is not just another ordinary company. We are specialists in energetic wellness, and our forte is energy technology, and we just want to find ways and means to bring this energy technology for everyday use by every common man so that they can help themselves and they can help others to improve energetically, thereby they can live life to the fullest. So with that, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us in this webinar. We will continue the next training webinar with much more details. With that, thank you and have a wonderful evening.